GG, Papi. You made some entertaining games. You made for some very, very entertaining games. Este Prim. But yes, if you want to support the tournaments, as they've attempted to post in the chat, there is a command. There's a command, exclamation mark, Matcherino. Hold on, exclamation mark. Matcherino in the chat. There is a link to the Matcherino page where I think they even have some coupon codes. So you can help support this tournament and help support the KSL via Matcherino. But here we go, we're jumping into our first series and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the South Korean Terran play area. The South Korean Terran, we have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into this. Now, coming into the series, ByuN, I would say, is slightly favored over SHIN, but these two are very close in skill. They're very close in skill. I would love to see an ace match, regardless of who wins, whether it's SHIN or ByuN. I'd love to see this go all the way to game 3. But we'll see. We'll see how our players will approach this, as SHIN does open up with delayed gas. Okay. You have my attention. It's going to be a hatch pool. Hatch? Are we going gas? We are. Okay. Gasless opener out of SHIN. I mean, this map is a little bit better for it, so it does make sense here. Yeah, it does make sense. For those who are curious, we saw something similar to this on Celestial Enclave. So there are certain maps. There are certain maps in the history of StarCraft. Think of like El Dorado. Think of Radisson Station. Think of Crimson Court. What do all these maps have in common? Think of Celestial Enclave. They have a very easily defendable 3-base setup because of the limited attack paths. Now, what I mean by that here, this is not quite a pocket base, but because of the terrain, there's only 2 attack paths here. If Hellions were to try to attack either the natural or the 3rd base, you have 1 path here on the right and 1 path here on the left. The pathway in between the 3rd and natural isn't really accessible here, so your ability to defend with purely queens and slowlings is higher on a map like 10,000 feet. Celestial Enclave is more extreme because Celestial Enclave, you have a pocket base, so there's just no way. There's no way for Hellions to ever really threaten your 3rd. So Celestial Enclave is a little bit more extreme. Oh! Meanwhile, 10,000 feet is also a lot more defendable. A lot more defendable here. Obviously, Hellions can rotate back and forth between these 2 entrances, but they can't really get in between the bases. As Reaper does slip in, does slip past, and we'll get eyes on the 3rd base. There it goes. Is aware of the 3rd. And again, SHIN is going for a later gas geyser. Now, because gas is so late, we might just skip link speed and go for a faster lair. But link speed is on the way, and SHIN stays in. Oh, we're staying in gas here. So this is a bit of a sign. This is a bit of a tell. So link speed is late. That is true. But we're still keeping 1 extra worker. And he pulls in. Yeah, he pulls in the gas. This typically means fast lair. This typically means that we're rushing into a faster lair. A standard lair timing is at 4:30. We're going to be getting there much faster. Much faster here, as we already have 100 gas. Yeah, we have our gas. Back across the map at 3rd CC before Starport. Economic build here by ByuN, going for a standard build here. 3 CC into Banshee. Everything's looking normal, everything's looking standard. Meanwhile, SHIN has the gas, but he's making queens. I don't know if you noticed, he was supply blocked. SHIN, he was supply blocked, so this queen is late. So late queen in the main base means later lair. He's got the money for it. He's got the gas. Meanwhile, you can see the Reaper Hellion threatening a dive. Ooh, he does get the tumor. Tumor does go down. Hellion Reaper pulls away. He's making more queens. We have 200 gas. Huh. Like, we are banking a lot of gas right now, and usually, like, this is intentional. Got a lot of gas, a heavily supply block. We got 4 overlords on the way. Oh, so heavy supply block here. This does slow SHIN down once again. Late round of queens, and again, if that is going to be delaying the lair. I mentioned earlier that the lair timing is usually at 4:30. We are exceeding that already, and we're getting up to 300 gas. Jesus. There we go. You can see the lair is being forced here at the third. I don't think the plan was to get the lair here at the third base, but it's just been a really awkward start. And I will say that SHIN has been playing very messy. Like, it's been very messy as well, just because of the delayed queen production, the supply blocks. The supply blocks have been brutal. So shaky early game here from SHIN. Supply blocks do slow him down, and he's just had excess resources as a result. Behind this, going double Eva chamber, getting into 1-1 upgrades, getting into what should be Ling Bane. Should be. Meanwhile, the Banshee has arrived. There we go. Cloak is done. We're sending out 2 Banshees on the right-hand side. Hellions towards the left. SHIN is keeping up, and that is a range upgrade, not melee. Okay, Roach Ravager. Where's the Roach one? Where's it? Ah. Oh. Okay, SHIN. Let's go. No roaches. We're going straight Hydra. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Rushing straight Hydra, going for range upgrades. This typically means we're going for an earlier Hydra timing. Ling Bane is going to be, it's not going to scale anywhere near as well. We're going for a heavy Hydra count. Now, this does work in ZVP. In ZVT, I'm a little bit less convinced, but we'll see. I'm less convinced. Banshee's a Sniper Queen. 1, 2 drone kills. Two drones going down. The third base here from ByuN is a little bit exposed, but the army's in position, and ByuN will defend. Now, something that we didn't really get to speak on is the map itself. We did speak about how defendable the 3 bases are. That is true, but another big factor is the rush distance. Fun fact, the rush distance by ground, this is the smallest map pool, the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool. Shorter than Tourmaline, shorter than Ruby Rock. So when ByuN decides to push, it's going to hit hard. It's going to hit very hard, and reinforcements hit that much harder as well. SHIN is making 9 overlords. We've been getting supply block the entire game. 9 overlord. A laser. Calm down, puppy. Calm down. Jesus. 9 overlords. This is like the 3rd big supply block of the game here. Like, SHIN, we got to tighten up. We can't get supply block when ByuN is pushing. Again, that was so many overlords. You can see he's almost at 200 supply. Sorry, 150 out of 200 because he made so many overlords. That also means that his army is smaller. Can he hold on? Bailing speed is not done. Yeah, we got the slow Bailings trying to waddle in. Tank fire here on the Bailings. Nice target firing at a ByuN. Yeah, kites back to another tank. Kites well. 1 tank does fall, but there's no Bailings left. Yeah, no Bailings remaining. ByuN is trading well. ByuN, he's out trading SHIN so far. He's slowly pushing forward with those tanks. It's going to be purely Ling Hydra. Now, the range upgrades will help the Hydras a little bit. Oof. And Marines, they just stim in. They just stim into the base. Ling's getting picked up. Oh, so many overlords going down. Now, thankfully, you can afford to lose some overlords, but still not ideal. And ByuN has done it. ByuN, he has done it. He breaks through the Lings, stims on forward, getting into some of the Hydras as well. Bailings, there's barely any. Nice kiting here by ByuN, and ByuN, he will break SHIN. Again, a cleaner game here out of ByuN. SHIN, he will supply block so often this game. It was heavily slowed down, and he just cannot keep up. Not with the first push. This wasn't even meant to kill, by the way. Like, behind this, ByuN is expanding. He's getting a 4th base. He's building up. But we spoke about it. Like, there's less room for error here on 10,000 feet. So the pushes hit harder. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, really solid build, very solid execution out of ByuN. As we mentioned, it was just a 7-minute push off of 5 Raxes. Standard build, standard move out. It does hit a little bit harder because it's on 10,000 feet, that is true, but we saw that SHIN had a really shaky game. Like, overall, I think the overarching goal was fine to go gasless, but then he got supply blocked once, twice, heavily 3 times. And what did that mean? That meant queens were delayed. That meant the tech was delayed. The lair was delayed. Everything was delayed there for SHIN throughout the entirety of the game until the very end, where he made 9 overlords, which meant that he did not have an army big enough to defend because he spent so much money making too many overlords because of the supply block as well. So it was just really messy play there from SHIN against a much cleaner execution out of ByuN. GG. GG, well played. We gotta tighten up, Pappy. Gotta tighten up here as we get into Winter Madness. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is SHIN. Here we go. Great get out to 2v2. 1v1, Baby, 1v1. Este Maximo. But here we go. Pull first. Oh, pull first here out of SHIN. And again, the pressure's on. The pressure is on SHIN. We got to tighten up our play a little bit here. Welcome to Winter Madness. Now, what I will say is that if SHIN were to have a little bit messy play and maybe be a little bit more inefficient at times, accidentally, of course, I will say there's a little bit more forgiveness and a little bit more freedom here on Winter Madness. This is one of the largest maps in the map pool. I say one of, there's a lot of large maps. I don't exactly know which one is bigger, whether it's Mothership or Winter Madness or Celestial Enclave or even Title Citadel. There's a lot of big maps. So I can't say with confidence this is the largest map, but this is the most offensive. This is the most offensive map in the map pool. So getting up to 3, 4 bases, 5 bases here is a lot more frequent, getting up to a higher base count. So we'll see how SHIN will approach this. We'll see what kind of build he goes for. Already going pool first is an interesting start, is what I will say. Oh, a bit of a misread. So a couple of things happening. One, we're scouting, of course, standard opener out of ByuN. SHIN does go pool first, so he gets an earlier queen. He doesn't make any lings. To me, this says that SHIN was maybe expecting ByuN to be more aggressive and maybe even proxy. And if that was the case, SHIN could hard counter. As it stands, SHIN will not be able to delay the CC, so there's not really much value in going pool first. I will say this is setting SHIN a little bit further behind. So a bit of an inefficient start, or less economic start out of SHIN. Very safe opener, and unfortunately for SHIN, it wasn't 2-rank Reaper or even Proxy Reaper. So I think SHIN was hoping for something more aggressive from ByuN. SHIN does get his third. ByuN going for a standard opener. Once again, third CC before starport. Same opener we saw last game. Just very standard, very economic. I mean, there's no reason for ByuN to switch things up, to be honest. No reason to switch it up. Speaking of, we're going for the add-on swap into Reactor to Hellion, and we have the add-on swap here for a Tech Lab into Banshee play, most likely. Eyes are mainly on SHIN. He does pull out this time, so he gets his 100 gas, then he completely pulls out. Again, there's no reason to prioritize gas income this early on. So SHIN, he's being more standard in his follow-up. Again, it was a pull first opener, which was a little bit quirky. He is already pulling back in. Yeah, he's pulling back into the first gas geyser. And this should lead into a standard layer timing. Technically, SHIN could go like Evo Chamber first or Bailey Nest first to be safe. So SHIN has options. Does he go Lair, Evo Chamber, or Bailey Nest? He's rotating. SHIN, he'll scout. Oh, we have fake cloak on the way. Let's go. SHIN, he will get eyes on both tech labs, on both researching, but again, we know that there is no cloak this time. Just vanilla banshees. At least SHIN is aware of the timing of the CC and the fact that there are banshees. Hellion goes down. ByuN a little bit inattentive. It is going to be lair first. So 4:30 lair timing. As I mentioned, this is the standard lair timing here. It's just going lair first. This leads into an Overseer Scout, and it leads into Baneling Speed. Speaking of, there it is, Baneling Speed. Or Baneling Nest into Speed. So again, very standard play out of SHIN. You can be greedier than this if you want and go faster Evo chambers to get faster upgrades, but SHIN isn't taking that chance. Spores in position, deflects the Banshee. And we're getting into the mid game. And again, SHIN, he's being a lot more standard in his approach. There's no crazy chaotic, right, like +1 range into mass Hydra or anything like that. Not this time. On top of that, SHIN's macro has been a lot cleaner this time. We're going for a bit of an, this is a pretty early Hydra den, Jesus. So early Hydras once again. We saw a glimpse of this last game. SHIN might go +1 range again. Yeah, there it is, +1 range. This does explain the Hydras. This needs to be an early Hydra timing. It has to be really early Hydra timing. You have to hit hard with those Hydras. This is a little bit unexpected, and we'll see if SHIN can pull this off. Again, we saw SHIN attempt to do something similar to this last game. I will say that this time SHIN has had a cleaner start, a cleaner mid game. I'm still not convinced by these Hydra timings. Like, I feel like I'm watching ByuN. Like, ByuN, he was very fond of going for these mass Hydra timings in ZVT. Let's see if SHIN can pull this off, as Hydra production has begun. I miss my ByuN. Yeah, SHIN, he's going to be running up to 80, so cutting workers here at 80 workers. He's getting up towards 4 base saturation, and I was having fixated on Ling Hydra. Now, because the Hydra count is going to be a lot higher, a lot earlier, and because of all these upgrades, it doesn't mean that Ling Bane is going to be a little bit weaker, or Ling Bane is weaker, but there are going to be less Banelings. And we'll see if SHIN can hold on. It's going to be patience. This time he's got Baneling speed. Again, as we mentioned, like, this has so far been a cleaner game out of SHIN. Has been a lot cleaner. And I believe the goal here is to break this army and then to counterattack. Oh, as he's trying to catch reinforcements. Setting up for the surround. We got a Hellbats behind here so ByuN can protect his tanks. Ling Bane gets spotted, or Bane Hydra. Here's round 2. Bane's rolling in. Yeah, he does pull back. We're getting on top of the tanks. I'll pick up. And ByuN, he does get on some of the Hydras here. Very nice flank out of ByuN. Hydras do go down, but there's still so much Ling Bane. And SHIN breaks through. Yeah, SHIN, he breaks the tanks. That's 3 tanks going down. ByuN is being forced back. He needs an anchor point. And SHIN doesn't chase. Okay, SHIN is not chasing behind this infestation pit. The pit tells us Hive Tech. Tells us Hive Tech. It tells us most likely Lurker Tech. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say Lurkers, but that is melee on the way. It looks like he wants to go back into Ling Bane. Potentially in towards Ultras. So we're done with range upgrades. So we're leaning away from Lurkers. But we'll see. It's nice pickups out of ByuN. Deny some of those Banelings. Does night Banelings, a lot of creepers being cleared up. Hive is on the way. And we'll see if SHIN techs up or even just goes into Viper production. Oh! Alright, so going to be on SHIN. If the plan was to go for Lurkers, then we'll see the Lurker Den soon. As you wanna line up the Lurker Den with Hive to start those Lurker upgrades as quickly as possible. But the longer this goes on, the less likely it seems to be Lurkers. Yeah, we have +2 melee. So +2 melee has begun. Both armies are maxing out. And before Shin can embrace Hive Tech, ByuN's here. Rotating towards the 5th. ByuN's moving in. And Shin, nice catch on the Marines. The Marines going to be going down. ByuN overextends. Oh no! He sends the fight, and he's forced to pick up. Shin holds. Shin holds. ByuN plummets and supply at the same time. It was a distraction. He will take down an expansion. Center right will go down. Not bad. ByuN gets a base. It's a base. Trades well against the Lings. Oh no! Ooh, does pick up in time. Does barely pull away. Jumping into the main. Draw play continues. Medevacs are empty. A little bit mistimed there by ByuN. But he snipes Infestation Pit. Not bad. Denies +2. And +2 was already delayed. So big delay on +2. Vipers are on the way. No Ultra Cavern yet. I mean, Shinny has no time to get into Ultras. He has no breathing room. As ByuN's aggression continues. It's so risky pushing forward like this into the 5th base. But again, he's just trying to create an opening. Shin trying to come in from behind. He's trickling in. Gets into the Marines, not bad. Oh my god, the Baileys, they just get annihilated. Yeah, very inefficient fight here by Shin. He tried to get on top of the tanks, he could not. Yeah, massive tank shots. The target firing was brutal. Without the Viper, Shin should hold. But it's been a shaky defense here from Shin. He bled out so much Ling Bane. Ooh, as Medevacs get thrown away. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. ByuN throws away the Medevacs. Late to pull back here as well, losing another. ByuN Hill's otherwise distracted, dropping into the main base, losing another Medevac. And these have been hefty losses by ByuN. Does get into the mineral line. Gets some drones, but not really much else. ByuN's still trying to be hyper aggressive, but it feels like ByuN may have lost too much. He may have lost too much. May have been a bit too inefficient in his fights. Lightning cloud on tanks. Powerbomb sniping 2 Medevacs. Oof. Yeah, and ByuN is just running out of steam. Running out of army. This entire time, ByuN has been borderline all in. What do I mean by that? It's just pure Marine. It's just pure Marine tank. There's no Marauders, there's no Ghosts, there's no finesse behind this, there's no Widowmines. Just pure Marine tank. And this was meant to kill, this was meant to end the game, and ByuN has failed. He's failed to kill his opponents. He was 8-raxing. Yeah, he was 8-raxing, and the 8-rax has failed here. ByuN getting desperate, lifting his main. Again, we spoke about it, like ByuN is basically all in here, so he has to lift his main base, landing it here as a 5th. Trying to maintain his mass Marine. But if Shin can get into, I mean, if he can take him into Hive, then he should just outscale. He should just outscale ByuN. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy here, Shin surviving ByuN and surviving the all-in. But he made it. He got there. Now we see ByuN start concussive shell. This tells us that ByuN, he wants to take gases and he wants to tech up. But remember, there's no gases here at the 3rd, no gases at the 4th. Like, the gas income is very low because ByuN never intended to get into gas units. That's why it's been mass Marine the entire time. That's why it's been an all-in. So he's thinking about Marauder production. He's now working towards it. He's trying to tech up. Now, thankfully for ByuN, Shin hasn't gone into a Lurker Den or an Ultra Cavern. If either one was coming, like, ByuN has no answer. Like, ByuN, he has no answer to either option here, to either tech structure. Now SHIN is maxed. He's now moving out towards the fourth. Ice Blighting Cloud, collapsing the army. And he should break this position. Yeah, he should be able to break it. Oh. Lands a couple of Blinding Clouds, gets into the middle line, and can he kill the CC? Yeah, he can. He can and he will. Command Center does fall. That's going to be 16 dead SCVs. ByuN going for his own massive counterattack. Let's go. Okay, I do like this for ByuN. This is his best option to avoid the fight. Oh no, ByuN getting caught out, not paying attention. Massive connections here across the map. And SHIN defends. SHIN, he does defend. He holds on. He's got more bases on the left-hand side. Plenty of bases, plenty of economy. As ByuN still has a massive army, don't get me wrong. It's just a very... It's not a very efficient army, considering the current game state. And there it is! Lurker Den. Lurker Den is finally done. We have a Lurker range on the way. As we mentioned before, currently ByuN, he has no answer for Lurkers. I mean, he never intended to have an answer for Lurkers. The game wasn't meant to last this long. That's my job. Yeah, solid connection. Goes off. SHIN rotating around. Doesn't have too many lurkers here. SHIN is almost maxed. He's lacking gas actually. And gas is lacking. Blinding Cloud's being thrown down. And SHIN, he does get on top of those Marauders. Oof. Yeah, Bailings, they were a little bit wasteful. Again, lack of gas income is killing SHIN. He can't afford his lunkers back. He can't afford them. Oh, God. Lurkers are not with the main army either. We go to rotates. They're being left behind. How many lurkers? 4. So very low lurker count. And again, no gas income here for SHIN. He needs gases back. So ByuN is holding his own purely because SHIN, even though he has a hive, he's not really making full use of it. He can't. Oh, good. Wait, let's get across the map. We're trading bases once again. ByuN, he's getting down and dirty with this, and SHIN, he has to meet him where he is. Vipers are being thrown away. ByuN gets a pressure mining base. And this is dangerous. This is dangerous for SHIN. Again, SHIN, he's only reinforcing with Zerglings, essentially. Lurkers are getting in position. ByuN takes down the most crucial mining base for SHIN, and he can just keep going here for another. There's one lurker to defend. ByuN turns around. Okay, ByuN, he turns back around. He's forced to respond. And pushing into 3 lurkers is not going to be easy. He's going for it. Yeah, he's trying to collapse in. The boys are being pulled. And he will break through. He'll break through. He'll take down 1, 2 lurkers. Gets all 3. Cleans up the army. And SHIN just now... We need to saturate. He needs the... There we go. Does pull into gas. He needs the gas back. And this can still go either way. This can still go either way. Looking at the armies here, there are 2 lurkers. Only 2 lurkers. We got 2 Vipers as well. The lurkers have a lot of potential, that is true. But ByuN, if he doesn't fight within range, then he's going to be fine. He rotates over towards right hand side instead. There's a lot of Ling Hydra though. ByuN has to be careful. So what do we have? We have a 2-base economy. SHIN has the base on the right, and he has the base on the left. They're very spread out. The two important bases here for SHIN are very spread out. They're very spread thin. So ByuN, he can kind of pick and choose and focus on one of these bases. And you can see his main army rotate towards the left-hand side. He gets scouted. Shin knows. Shin is aware, and we're going to be trading bases again. Shin, he's targeting the most important mine base of ByuN. There's 2 lurkers here to defend. Nice running cloud. Does zoink the medevac. At the same time, lurkers go down. We're trading bases. CC goes down. Shin kills one, but so does ByuN. So does ByuN as he gets the entire mineral line. Shin does not get away, but Shin is going to keep going. And he's going for the CC. He's going for the economy. I thought it was going to go for the production, but every SCV is going to go down. ByuN is down to 7 SCVs. He has no economy. ByuN, where are we going? He's turning around. He's turning around. He's racing back home. Oh, Jesus. Mine shot goes off. Every link counts. Every link does count. ByuN is trying to come in from behind. Who's around 2? ByuN gets surrounded. Yeah, ByuN gets surrounded. A lot of the rings go down the marauders as well. ByuN, he barely doesn't have enough. GG gets called, and Shin will tab the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. That was closer than it needed to be. That was closer than it needed to be. Very close, very clutch game towards the end. ByuN, he went down to 7 SCVs. Crazy, might be crazy. Again, ByuN, he was all in the entire game. He was basically 3 base all in. He went for an 8 racks. He had no further tech. He had no intention for further tech. And Shin essentially won this game when the game stabilized. When he was able to collapse on the main army on the left-hand side and get up to a 5 base economy. Shin, he was in a winning position. He was in a commanding position. He was able to get his hive, he was able to tech up. But if you notice, something that we were harping on a lot is that despite Shin having map control, having a stable economy, and having further tech, he did not take his gases. So even though Shin had the capacity to, or had the tech to get into lurkers and to refine his composition, he couldn't because he had no gases at his 6th or his 5th or his 4th base. Like, he had very limited gas income. You saw actually towards the end he was taking gas geysers, but that was as he was losing bases, so he never really got to saturate. So Shin, he never really got to take full advantage of his hive, and because of that, the mid-tier composition of ByuN was actually still maintaining value and still trading well, despite the potential further tech of Shin. And then we got chaotic. Then bases were going down, and we got down and dirty there. GG, well played. Very close, very clutch. Very impressive play there by ByuN to be able to hang in there and to claw his way back into it and potentially almost win the game despite being in a very rough position. And again, Shin maybe resting on his laurels a little bit there, and the game got a little bit closer than it otherwise needed to be. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player, the Blue Zerg player himself, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. Here we go. But a very intense game as Shin is going for the pocket. Oh. Okay, interesting. Shin, he will go hatch first, but he goes to the pocket base instead. There's less resource here, there's less value. Typically, you want to save this base as a 4th or a 5th. You want to save it and get it later in the game, not earlier. So, interesting choice here by Shin. We'll see what this leads into. We'll see if this is alluding to something down the line. As is going hatch gas pool. Again, standard opener out of Shin, aside from the fact that he did take half a base. And I'm curious to see where our gas is going to be spent. Are we going to be getting into link speed or skipping it? As ByuN does go for his rank expand. ByuN may even go for a faster 3rd CC as well. We'll see how many corners we cut. Okay, we're rushing into a 3rd base. So we're going into a faster 3rd. Because of this, Shin is going to be delaying his queen. So delayed 2nd queen, delayed 3rd queen in favor of a faster 3rd expansion. So SHIN, in some ways, he is cutting corners here. He's cutting corners. He's going to have a lower queen count, and we'll see if he can get away with it. He still did go for his gas at a regular timing, and we'll see if he researches link speed. That's what I want to know. Does he get link speed? Does he skip it? We got the money. We're holding onto the gas. He pulls out. He does pull out. Holding onto that 100. We do have a delay on link speed. And we're still holding on to that gas. Are we going for a layer? No, okay, there we go. There we go. So delayed link speed, but link speed is on the way nonetheless. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's going 3cc, 3 racks. Oh boy. A heavy stim timing is on the way. Late factory, late starport, late drop play, no Hellion harass, purely mass marine stim. Let's go. So a heavy follow-up here by ByuN. Remember, this is still greedy. He's getting his third base on location, but it's going to be a heavy bio army and a very strong stim timing nonetheless out of ByuN. So it's on SHIN to recognize what's going on. So far, ByuN is on patrol, ensuring that there is no scout. SHIN is droning. Checking the vision, ByuN, he didn't get to scout the main base or the natural, so if SHIN were rushing into a fast lair or fast tech, honestly, he'd do a great job at, he's done a great job at denying scouting and denying vision. We can see, though, it's standard, right? Just link speed. Just link speed. Oh, okay, knocking down those rocks, opening up that map. Overlord scout is attempted, and we'll see what is revealed. Yeah, he sees all the Marines, so he knows. Now, he's aware of one of two things. Either this is a 2-1-1 or a 3cc 2-1-1. Or a 3 racks, right? 3cc 3 racks. So there are options. There are 3 different options as to what this could be. At least SHIN does rule out protecting against, defending against Banshees. He rules out Hellion production, of course. So SHIN, he does rule out a couple of options. And he's aware that stim timing is coming. Now remember, this is going to be a delayed bio push just because it's a later stim, later tech lab, but later medevacs. The hope would be for ByuN to force SHIN to overmake Ling Bane early. Like, for example, right now, SHIN he should just drone. Like, he can just drone up, saturate, get a 4th base. But right now, you can see he's making 24 Zerglings, 24 Lings, Balin S as well. Going into his lair, going into delayed Evo chambers, late upgrades. Should be going carapace first. And we've got 20 more Lings on the way. Whereas technically, SHIN could have drawn up harder here. He could have drawn up a little bit harder and delayed link production because it's hitting so much later. We're just now going for the add-on swap, and ByuN will soon be pushing with his medevacs. So because SHIN is going to be making so much Ling Bane here and is going to be overly prepared, the hope for SHIN would be to crush the main push and then counterattack, right? That would be the hope for SHIN. The problem is that counterattacking here on Celestial Enclave is not going to be easy. Oh, he gets in. The Link does slip in. Oof. Doesn't get too much vision, but does see that the army is still at home. And you can see now we're droning. Now there's 9 drones on the way. This could have been done a minute ago, right? This could have been a minute ago. This could have been much, much earlier. But SHIN just didn't know what was happening. As the drop timing here is at 6:15. Again, over a minute later, compared to a 2-1-1, or even 3cc 2-1-1. Oh. SHIN going for his own push. He has to make use of this army, and there's no bunkers. He can get in. No shot. SHIN, he just goes for it. He will break through. Takes down the bio army, bits into the middle line. ByuN races back home, and ByuN, the pants were down. The pants were down. I was concerned that SHIN wouldn't be that he wouldn't find any damage with his Ling Bane, but no. Oh. Please add a little links towards the end, but that's still 9 SCV kills and a delay on the drop. So nice delay here. Nice damage. Again, if ByuN didn't lose anything, then he'd be in a better position, of course. He would be ahead. But did lose a massive chunk of SCVs. And now ByuN, this pressure on ByuN to find some damage here. Pressure is on. SHIN, he is once again going Link Bane Hydra. Drop into the pocket base. SHIN deflects. Respect the Widow Mines. Meanwhile, we have some decent grease spread, but that's a lot of tumors going down. Oh, oh no! Oh my god, a brutal connection here. Every Baneling goes down, and ByuN, did he just do it? did he just in one fell swoop, he shuts down the Link Bane, brutal Widow Mine connection, and just like that, he can stim in. He can stim on board here. The Queen, the Hydras are exposed. Getting 1, 2, 3. He might even just get every single Hydra. The Banelings are not done. Like shit, he was holding his own. He was playing well up until that mine shot. Like that was a game-winning mine shot for ByuN. That was brutal. ByuN capitalized immediately, and now ByuN has momentum. Oh. Okay, peeling off, going for a drop. At the same time, SHIN trying to catch reinforcements, if not just delay the 4 CC. Won't quite be able to. It does delay. Okay, SHIN getting some breathing room behind this. Is trying to build up more Link Bane. The armor supply in favor of ByuN. It comes down to the connections. It comes down to the Widow Mine shots and also the Banelings as well. Can SHIN stabilize? Oh, speaking of, Jesus, Link Bane does crash in. ByuN, who was late to pick up. So later reaction there from ByuN, but he does sneak into the natural. Okay, sneaks in, trades well. Oh my god! Yeah, mine shot's going up. One Baneling to connect, and SHIN holds. Yeah, SHIN holds. You can see ByuN, he plummeted 30 supply. ByuN, he was late to react on the top side, and here ByuN also took a Baneling to the face as well. So ByuN getting a little bit careless. Yeah, a little bit careless here. Meanwhile, SHIN is taking up into Hive. Pre-Hive tech, I will still say that ByuN has potential here, but... Oof. Again, he's still playing with fire. As ByuN, he clears up all the creep in the center of the map. Vision, no control for SHIN. 3-3 has begun. Behind this, ByuN getting his 5th base on location. And this time, ByuN is faster as heck up. He still hasn't taken any gases here at his 4th base, but he did get a 5th gas geyser. So he's able to afford Marauders. Like, ByuN is taking up, unlike last game. SHIN is going for the kill. ByuN is out of position. Yeah, ByuN's out of position. No bunkers, no tank production, no factories, I should say. And we're just going for it. We're just going straight for the kill here. ByuN is racing back home with his army. He was mid-drop. And SHIN has done it. Yeah, SHIN, he has done it. He has broken the natural. 23 SCV kills. ByuN is stuck outside his own natural. Yeah, the splits are not good enough here. 25 SCVs. Mining is denied. As SHIN, he backs off. He preserves his Hydras. And SHIN is rebuilding, remaxing with more Link Bane. More Link Bane. Now, ByuN still has a comparable army at least. And he does catch all these Hydras. Okay. SHIN leaving his Hydras idle. Did not keep running back. Did not keep turning around. That was an expensive loss. And as I just mentioned, the economy for ByuN is in shambles. But the army... He can still keep going. It's all or nothing, essentially, for ByuN. It's all or nothing. He has to do critical damage here. ByuN denies the center right. Denies the base. Lings, they do sit past the army once again. And ByuN is trading efficiently. Picks off a couple of Hydras. Gets a Baneling here and there. Drop does distract. And gets into the mineral line. Okay. Chasing down more Hydras. Like, these are efficient trades here by ByuN. But at the same time, he cannot replace this army. Oh, yeah, brutal connection. Brutal Baneling connection. ByuN, he can't sustain these losses. He gets 11 drones. Picked up a bunch of Hydras. But he's on a 2-base economy. He's on 41 SCVs. I mean, the mules are helping. Mules are helping. Lurkers have arrived. Oof. SHIN, he survived it. Oh god, no, I switched too soon. Snipes all 3 lurkers. Very nice catch by ByuN. Takes out 3 lurkers, gets 4 drones, the queen. Causes a big distraction. At the same time, drop here between the bases. Ooh, running into lurkers. Oh, good. Gets 1. Barely gets 1. But you can see how much it takes for ByuN to take down a lurker. It takes so much to pull off. Just because he has no ghosts, he has no liberators. Doesn't really have a heavy marauder count. And the Ling run bys continue. Less successful this time. He's microing his heart out. Oof. Oh god, that was a full meta. No, 2 full metavacs. Oh god. The MVP spore. That one spore killed 3 metavacs. Ay, ay, ay. Not the spore, Bappy. Oh. Nice, very nice mind connection. But there's still just so much Zerg here. Yeah, the swarm has arrived. SHIN, he will overwhelm. Now he's got a healthy lurker count. We got 9 lurkers. SHIN never even had this many lurkers last game. Like, he never had it. Part of the reason, he has gas. He actually has gas guys this time. Maybe not the best mining here, but he does have them. But doesn't make the same mistake. Not again. He's got his gases. Soon will saturate. Built up his lunkers. And again, just a very intense mid-game that we had with a back and forth. ByuN not trading initially, but then SHIN catching out, what was it, like essentially 3 full metavacs? But what it really came down to, which we could have seen the defense out of ByuN, was when ByuN went for the Doom Drop. Remember, he went for a massive Doom Drop, and just as he moved out, SHIN moved in. And ByuN was stuck outside of his own main. He was stuck outside of his own natural, technically. Where he was halfway across the map, and SHIN just went straight for the kill. ByuN had to turn around. And in the process, he lost 2 mineral lines. And 2 bases. Remember, he lost his 4th, and at the time, he was trying to get a 5th base. And since that moment, ByuN has been on the back foot. He has had some very impressive trades, for sure, since then. But he needs more than that. And SHIN is maxed. SHIN is maxed out. 200 supply. Maxed out, Matthew. Nice surround here on the lurkers, though. Jesus. Again, very opportunistic here by ByuN, trading as best he can. Takes out most of the lurkers, but it costs him so much to do so. Oh, God. As he's out of position, once again, the middle line goes down. GG gets called, and SHIN will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to SHIN. He does claim the series, does advance on. Again, a shout out to ByuN, because ByuN, he was hyper aggressive, both in game 2 and in game 3, very in the face of SHIN. And honestly, I would say that ByuN initially had a better mid game. He was trading well, his drops were doing damage, he was able to establish his 4th base, working towards his 5th base, taking his gases, taking up in towards 3-3 and marauder production and widowmine production as well. Things were looking up. But then, if you remember, ByuN, he did lose his drop on the left-hand side, and he lost a medevac on the right-hand side as well. That was a moment where, if you remember, I did say that, oh, he lost 30 supply. He lost like 30 supply in a couple of seconds. So that's when he lost momentum, that's when he lost map control, that's when he was forced back home. And in that moment, that's when he had built up towards that Doom Drop, and right after that, we saw SHIN punish, right? SHIN, he punished, was able to break the 4th, go straight into the natural, and just take a massive lead from there. Essentially end the game. He was able to cripple the economy, and ByuN never quite recovered. GG. GG, well played with that. So congratulations. It's just a very intense, very back and forth series, very back and forth games as well. Beautiful, puppy, beautiful. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. And let's catch up in the bracket. Let's catch up and let's figure out where we are and where we are headed.